All right, traders. Sam back with you, middle of the day, Wednesday, September 27th. I thought we'd take a look at some of the other majors. I've got teed up Ripple, Zcash, and Neo. Let's start with Ripple because this is a good example, just to be reminded of how difficult trading is, right? So sometimes when you watch videos like I'm posting, and you kind of you can get into a false sense of, oh, well, this is easy, right? I'm just pulling fibs and I wait for a 3 and a 5. Listen, the market is always trying to confuse you. Patterns are changing constantly. And really, you just have to enter into this arena knowing how frequently you're going to be wrong. And accept that. You got to be at peace with that, and you can't struggle with that. So you've got to recognize that you out of 10 trades, you're doing well if 3 or 4 of them are profitable, right? So that's why I want to remind you, it always comes down to money management. How much are you losing when you're wrong compared to how much are you making when you're right? And that has to be in the forefront of your mind at all times. At all times, your ego has to be taken out of the picture. Yes, there's nothing better than being right, but it happens so infrequently. You've got to just condition yourself to say, where am I wrong? Where am I wrong? How much am I risking? Does this hurt me? If I take this trade, you can think of it as, will I be able to sleep comfortably taking a trade like this overnight? You really have to factor all of this in as you approach the market. And this is just a good example of a trade that had all of the conditions for a beautiful short trade that is now turned itself upside down. And I will just recreate it a little bit here so you can see. Now we had this big correction down here, but it had set up for a very nice A wave, a B wave, and it looked like the C wave was going to unfold in a rather large 5-wave sequence. So previously, and I was in this trade and was stopped out, we had this expectation. Look how nicely that's set up. We had our nice impulsive 1 down for the big 3, retrace into the 4, right at the 3.8, and we're looking for new lows. Does not happen. Does not happen. So stops are hit, and you reevaluate. So now we look at this and say, well, could this still be corrective? Is this now our 4? Well, it's a 3-wave, or is this our C? And our 4 was good there, and all that's happened now is we've had a truncated 5th. How do you know? Well, you don't know. You don't know. I mean, this is there's a very real possibility that we've put in a truncated 5th. Possible. But let's assume that that's not the case, and that we're still, at this point, until we take out the 618, you got to lean bearish until we see that broken with impulsive behavior. Now we're getting some impulsive structure here, but it remains in an ABC formation. Here is 3-wave into an A. There's our B. Now we're going up into a C, potentially, or a truncated 5th, and now we've got a 1, 2, 3, and we're off to new highs. No way to know. Absolutely no way to know. So what is the chart tell us? Where's the trade, and is there a trade? Well, first point of resistance, we got to get through the 618 and the 65. We got to get through that with some conviction. Otherwise, we just remain bearish below. And this could be the 4, could be. We don't want to take out the 2, and we're stretching it. We're stretching, the possibility that's a 4, but it could be. We've got an ending diagonal to finish this C wave. Right, but that's looking less and less likely as this gets more and more impulsive. So if we go back here and we say, all right, well maybe we got a truncated 5th, and now we've got a 1, 2. Well, we'd be looking for, let's go down to a smaller time frame. Let me blow that up a little bit. Well, do we get impulsive here? Well, yeah, we've definitely got some possibilities here. So if this is now, the correction is over. That's our 1. That's our 2. Where's the most likely spot for the 3-wave? Well, it's the 161 and 175. Well, we've blown through that. So this is looking, stronger and stronger from an impulsive perspective. So we could very well have this be a 1, 2, and we're in a 3. That's that's a contender, right? We can't. That certainly looks like what's happening here. Whether or not we're finishing a C wave or not remains to be seen. But we've certainly got impulsive behavior. So is there a trade for us? Well, let's acknowledging now that we're in some sort of a three wave. Where's our trade? Well, the first one we'd look at is the relationship between the low of the two wave and the high of the three wave, assuming we've got that in, and we come down here. We're looking for, well, ideally, let me get the 3.8 on there so you can see it. So here's our little window we'd be shopping for. We'd want to look for this to be a buyer. Let's go green. So you got to just sit and wait. Now, take note here that we have this prior resistance. Let's tee that up. Prior resistance and what we had labeled as our 4 wave. Right? That's likely to be some support. That's likely to be support. So we've got a nice little window here for a trade that could take us from, if we're a buyer in here at, we're, right in here at 0.19, you've got upside to 0.22. So, there's a trade there, right? So there's definitely a trade that allows you to get long here, anticipating that you're likely to run into some resistance up here. And take note that you've got the negative 23. You got the negative 23 right up here, just on the other side of the 65. So likely target range up here. So if you're looking to get long, well, unless you're long already, you sit and wait. You got to wait. Got to wait for it. Let's also, just as a good technician, let's get our median lines on this. And look where that comes in. So, target definitely up here. Definitely got a target zone. And if we just pull that out as in terms of how much time it may take. Do we get there today? Well, we could. But likely there's some sort of a profit taking, which is what creates the 4. We get some profit taking. We come down here and we're going to challenge this and see if we can get one more push up for the 5. All right, so there's absolutely a nice trade. It's not a home run ball, but that's a nice single. That's a nice trade with a good target. And, of course, depending on the size you're trading, you could take a partial there. Recognizing the possibility that if we're going to blow through that, we're going to keep going. Well, we've got the negative 618 here, and the negative 786 of the entire move down. So you got 2 targets to shoot for, assuming we get some sort of a pullback, right? And we just got to sit and wait for it, right? If that's the count. And the reaction that we see here at the 618 is going to definitely give us some more information with which we can work with, right? So ideally, the sooner we get there, the better, because I'd like to hit it while we're in this zone here, while we're aligned with the median line. The sooner we hit it, the better. The more confidence we get in that 3, and then we look for the retracement depending on where this tops, if it hasn't topped already, and we look for our 4. Right? So that's Ripple. Maybe it's a lesson learned there, and just a reminder how difficult this is to do consistently. All right, let's go over to Zcash, because that is a big mover today. And not unlike what we saw in Ripple, you had a contender here for this to be an A, B. This could have stalled here and gone down one more time to complete we'd have had overlap of what was the 1 wave. So you have potential here to complete a leading diagonal of an A wave. Well, clearly that's not what we got. So you got to break this down. Now, I'm on a 4-hour. This is a Zcash to the US dollar tether on Poloniex. So I'm going to break this down. Let's go to a 2-hour to cut it in half and just show you why I have this current labeling. This right here, so it would be tempting to say, okay, this is my larger 1. But it just doesn't have that characteristic. We really have, the only way you can count this well, I would propose to you, the only way I see a count here that works is that we've got a 1-2-1-2. because we don't have an impulsive structure here. We've got the sharp wave up into what I've labeled as the 1, a 3-wave retracement. We go up one more time. We don't get an impulsive structure. So what makes sense is 1, 2, and then we go 1, 2 again. Now look here, we go right to the median line for the 3, bounce down to the outside median line, and then this major move happens. So what that likely is showing us is that we've got, remember, the third wave can't be the shortest wave. So right now I'm counting this as an extended fifth. Right, you see the fifth up here? We're in an extended fifth, and we've just wicked into the 50 of the larger move all the way back. So let's put it in perspective. Let me go back to the 4-hour. I gotta go more than that. I'll let you see it. Okay, so here's the 50 that we've just wicked through. Now, good sign here. Now here comes the 618, which happens to be aligned with the negative 23, if indeed we've got a top here. So we don't know yet. We don't know yet. But let's go back down to something we can work with, even if we go down to the hourly. 1, 2. There's the 3. There's the 4. Extended fifth. Extended fifth. Right now that count can change. That count can change, but right now that's what makes sense to me. So what are we waiting for? We're waiting for the 4, right? So depending on where you want to draw from, you certainly would have to look at the all the way, right? So putting the 4, back in this zone here, where we've got this little overlap here of the 238s. That's right at the outside median line. So what I'd be looking for, again, if you're not already long, you just got to wait. You got to wait for that to retrace. These people are going to want to take profit. There's going to be some profit taking, which should bring this down. First zone you got to look for is what happens at the median line. So if we go to our last swing low, that puts the 38 right at the median line. So this is a contender. So if you're looking to get long here, you might do a partial here. You might have a partial entry. So you take your first swing there, and your second swing a little bit lower, assuming we're going to go down and challenge the 50 in the outside edge of the median line. Right? So, load 1, load 2, stop below the 618. Nice risk reward because your upside is, you're way up here. We're in U.S. dollar terms now. So you're a buyer here at 250, 248. So you've got about a $10 range there with upside targets here up in 330 to 3. We could go higher here, but first targets would be around 320 to 330. So definitely trading opportunity, definitely a good sign. Look how we stall here and hit this resistance at the 50. Right, we've been through it once before, so odds are we continue to get through. But what we're looking for now is the first retracement. So definitely one to watch. Alarm it. Keep an eye on it. We track both retracement levels from this swing and from this swing. We got to watch both of them. But the structure seems to be influencing the market. So watch the median line because you'd expect a reaction at the median line. If we get through it, likely target is the outside median line. Right, very very tradable market setting up. So get some alerts on that. All right, let's finish with NEO. I've got it teed up both against Bitcoin and the dollar. So I had a few people ask me about this. So against Bitcoin, we have this same sort of confusion here. Is this a truncated fifth? Right, so we had the A wave. There's the 3-wave B. We're looking for 5 to complete it. Right, it's a tougher sell because we had the nice 1, 2, deep 3, retraced to the 50, right? All looking good for new lows, heading to the negative 23. We don't get it. We don't get it. So again, truncated fifth. That's my best estimate as to what's happening here. We don't finish the fifth. I don't, unlike with Zcash, I don't as much see this as a 1, 2 because of the 3-wave structure here. So I think that's unlikely. So I think the contender here is a truncated fifth, and now we're starting an impulsive move higher. So you can see right now, we're right in that little window between the 618 and the 65 that you so often will see the market respond to, right? Is you've got stops getting wicked on the other side of the 618. So, but looking left here, we can see some prior support here. There's the wave one. There's the wave one. Certainly likely resistance there as that prior support becomes the resistance. Do we get through it? Can't tell yet, but we've wicked through a little bit. So what are we waiting for? We're waiting for the 4, right? So we're waiting for the 4 until we see, do we get through here with good volume? At this point, you got to wait and hope you get a decent retracement. So we'd pull from the 2. We don't know if that's the 5 yet. We don't know. But there's the window. There's the window to trade it. Got to wait for it. Got to wait for it. So there it is. So nice upside. So if you're a buyer here, that's 0.0066. You got up to 0.0092. So there's some meat on that trade. And upside targets, right? Nothing says we have to stop at the 23, but you're likely to hit some resistance. But keep in mind, we got to check the all the way. Yeah. We got to check the all the way. That's gonna be an issue as well. So now we see the all the way halfway back, right in that window here. So potentially a first target for a sell right there between the 50% and the negative 236. Possible target. If you get through that, then where's the next? Right, that's that little window there. So now we've got the 618 of the all the way halfway back, the negative 618, which we know would be an extreme move if we come down here in this little window. So what do we get? We get a roadmap. We get a possible roadmap. Entry, right? Look, so we start to pull back a little bit here. So you want to see it pull back. I want to see that pull back. There's the next entry, right? Here's the point to pay attention to. Right, here's our 1, which lines up right with the 618. That's if the 3 high is in, which we can't say conclusively yet until we get some more retracement here. So here would be the entry, stop on the other side of the 65. Nice upside. Nice upside. Even if let's say I'll split the difference to the 23. About 3 to 1 on that one. 4.5 to 1 on that one. Right, so 2 very tradable setups, right? If we get them, and nothing says that's the high. Although, we want to, recognize that right now that's a reasonable spot. So what's another measure we could put on that? If knowing the most likely where to most 3-wave stop. Between 618 and 75. So we're through that. So take a look. So, an extreme for a 3-wave would be the 261.8, right? And which happens to line up exactly overlapping the 50. It's amazing how often you see that, right? When you see that kind of confluence. So if we're gonna keep rolling here on the 3, that's a likely target, right? You're going to get a reaction there. There will be a group of traders and algos written to sell that. They will be on the other side of that, defending that 50, looking for the move all the way down here, right? Because they don't care. It's a machine, right? It's just written to sell the 50s. And if we get on the other side of the 618, then it flips, and then they buy the next 50. So that's a nice contender here, from the fib and from the halfway back for that 3-wave. So if you're not long, you're waiting. You're waiting for the pullback, right? Let's quickly check it against the dollar to finish up here. How am I doing on time? There's 18 minutes.